Hello everyone. We are discussing about nomenclature of hydrocarbons. So we have seen that these hydrocarbons, they are classified into open chain and closed ring forms. So these open chain forms, they are classified into saturated and unsaturated compounds, and these saturated and unsaturated compounds further classified into straight chain and branched chain compounds. Among these, we have seen the nomenclature of straight chain and branched chain saturated compounds and also straight chain unsaturated compounds. In this video, we will be discussing about nomenclature of unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons. Nomenclature of unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons. See, while naming these unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, the rules which we follow for saturated branched chain hydrocarbons, the same rules will be applicable here also. But the only thing here, the difference is unsaturation. In these unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, unsaturation will be present, and we have to include this unsaturation in while naming the compound. So here, while naming this unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, certain things we have to keep in mind. What are those things means? Initially, we have to identify the parent chain. So first of all, the first step we have to do is we have to identify the parent chain. While naming these branched chain unsaturation hydrocarbons, we have to identify the parent chain. We know very well what we consider as parent chain. So the longest possible continuous chain will be considered as the parent chain. Then the second will be we have to identify the branch. This branch is nothing but the side chain. So initially we have to identify the parent chain, then secondly we have to identify the branch. If we have more number of branches or side chains, we have to give the naming, and those names have to be arranged in alphabetical order. The names has to be arranged in alphabetical order. Then we have to identify the type of unsaturation. We have to identify the type of unsaturation and also the number of carbon atoms that are present in the parent chain. So here in the first step we are identifying the parent chain, then the number of carbon atoms that are present in the parent chain we have to identify, and based upon the number of carbon atoms we have to name the compound. We know very well that while naming the compound we have to add a prefix and suffix. So this prefix will give the size of the compound, whereas the suffix will state the nature of the compound. So here prefix depends upon the size of the compound, that means the number of carbon atoms that are present in the compound. So those number of carbon atoms we are identifying here, we are counting here. Okay, so initially we have to identify the parent chain, then we have to identify the branch chain or side chain, or we have to, and after that we have to arrange in case of multiple side chains or branches or substituents we can say. So we have to arrange the names of those side chains in an alphabetical order. Then we have to identify the type of unsaturation here. So this step we already included here, so no need to write here. Okay, so initially we have to identify the parent chain, then we have to identify the branch chains, then in case of multiple branches we have to arrange the names of the branches in an alphabetical order, then we have to identify the type of unsaturation, then we have to number the compound. We know very well that the unsaturation or the branch, the side chain or unsaturation, it has to be designated with numericals. So to designate these unsaturation or the branch, we have to number the compound. So while numbering the compound, we should keep in mind that the unsaturation should get the least possible number. So for example, if we consider this compound and let us say okay, so let us consider this compound and let us hope the unsaturation is present here. So in this condition, what we have to do, we already discussed in case of branch chain saturated compounds that the carbon atom that is having the side chain or substituent should get the least possible number. And while naming the unsaturated straight chain compounds, we discussed that the carbon atom that is having the unsaturation should get the least possible number. But here, in this case, we are having both. Unsaturation is present and also the side chain is present. Now, which one to be given the first priority, whether the unsaturation or the side chain? So in this case, in this type of compounds, we have to consider that this unsaturation should get the least possible number. Rather than the side chain, this unsaturation should get the least possible number. See, if we start numbering from here, the third carbon atom will get unsaturation. If we start numbering from here, the fifth carbon atom will get the unsaturation. So here 3 will be lesser than 5. That's why we will be giving numbering from this carbon atom only. So the name of the compound will be so 8 are there, oct 3E. So third carbon atom is having the double bond, so oct3E, and we have an ethyl substitution on the fifth carbon atom, so the name of the compound will be 5-ethyl octene. Okay, so the unsaturation should get the least possible number. Then we have to check whether this unsaturation is present in parent chain or the unsaturation is present in the side chain, or we can say the branch. So this thing also very important. We have to check whether the unsaturation is present in the parent chain or this unsaturation is present in the side chain. If the unsaturation is present in the side chain, then again we have to see whether the unsaturation in the side chain is directly linked with parent chain, or it is separated from the parent chain by one or more carbon atoms. Okay, so while naming the unsaturated branch chain hydrocarbons, we have to consider all these factors. Initially, we have to identify the parent chain, then we have to identify the branch chain or side chain. If we have more number of branch chains or side chains, then the names of those branch chains or side chains has to be arranged in an alphabetical order. Then we have to consider the type of unsaturation, whether it is double bond or triple bond. Okay, we have to consider, we have to check the type of unsaturation, whether the double bond or triple bond, because if it is double bond, the suffix "ene" will be used. If it is triple bond, the suffix "ine" will be used. So for that, we have to check the type of unsaturation. Then after that, we have to give numbering. While numbering, the unsaturation should get the least possible number. That means the carbon atom having unsaturation should get the least possible number, but not the carbon atom that is having the side chain. Then we have to check whether the unsaturation is present in the parent chain or in the side chain. If the unsaturation is present in the parent chain, there won't be any problem. So just like that, as we give name to respective alkenes or alkynes, like the same way we will be giving the name, and the branch, the name of the branch will be added as the prefix. Okay, then after that, if the unsaturation is present in the side chain, then we have to check whether the unsaturation that is present in the side chain, that is directly linked to the parent chain, or the unsaturation that is present in the side chain that is separated from the parent chain by one or more carbon atoms. So to understand all these, I will be discussing some examples. So let us consider this compound. So this is a hydrocarbon and it is having a substitution here and an unsaturation here. Okay. So first step we have to do is we have to select the parent chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So one possibility with 10 carbon atoms. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another possibility with 9 carbon atoms. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another possibility with 6 carbon atoms. So among all these, 10 will be the longest continuous chain. So we will consider the chain that is having 10 carbon atoms as the parent chain. So here parent chain has been selected, that is the chain with 10 carbon atoms, and as it is having an unsaturation and that unsaturation is the double bond, the name of the compound will be decene. So the prefix dec will be used to represent 10 carbon atoms, and the suffix "ene" is used to represent the presence of double bond. Now our next step is identifying the substitutions. So here the side chain is ethyl substitution we have. Okay, now the next step what we have to do, we have to identify the unsaturation and the type of unsaturation also identified. Now we have to designate this unsaturation and the side chain. Okay, so here while designating the unsaturation and the side chain, what we have to do, we have to give priorities. So in those priorities, this unsaturation will get the first priority. That means the carbon atom that is having unsaturation will get the least possible number. So we will start numbering from here. The second carbon atom is having the unsaturation and the seventh carbon atom is having the side chain. So the name of the compound will be 7-ethyl 2-decene or 7-ethyl dec 2-ene. So this will be the name of the compound. So if the unsaturation is present in the parent chain, we can name the compound very easily. This will be very easy. So we will consider another example. So the same compound here, if triple bond is present. So in this case what we will do, instead of writing ene, ion will be written here. So in case of double bond, we wrote dec 2-ene. So there, instead of writing ene, we will be writing ion. So dec 2-ine, because it is alkyne. So the name of the compound will be 7-ethyl dec 2-ine. So this will be the name of the compound. So we will see another example. So in this case, we can observe that if we start numbering from here, second carbon atom is having unsaturation. If we start numbering from here, the second carbon atom is having the substituent. So as we discussed earlier, the carbon atom that is having the unsaturation should get the least possible number. So the numbering will start from here only, and the name of the compound will be 9-methyl dec 2-ene. This will be the name of the compound. If it is triple bond, then ion. 9-methyl dec 2-ine. So like this, we will be giving naming to the compounds if the unsaturation is present in the parent chain. Okay. What if more than one unsaturation is present here? Let us consider the presence of multiple unsaturations in the given compound. So let us consider the compound, and here two double bonds are present. So in this case, how to name these compounds? So as we saw in case of unsaturated stride chain hydrocarbons, so how we gave numbering, the same thing will be applicable here also. So here initially we have to identify the parent chain. In this case also the parent chain will be decene. Okay, and in the second and fifth carbon atom is having unsaturations, and both are the same unsaturations, so diene. Okay, to represent two unsaturations, we will be using the prefix di, and here it is having two enes, that means two double bonds. So the name diene will be used, and it is decene. Second carbon atom and fifth carbon atom is having double bonds, so dec 2,5 diene. So the name of the parent chain will be dec 2,5 diene. And on the seventh carbon atom we have ethyl substitution, so the name of the compound will be 7-ethyl dec 2,5 diene. So like this we will be giving name to the compounds that are having multiple unsaturations, if those multiple unsaturations are of same kind of unsaturations. If at all, in case of combined unsaturations, what we will be doing in case of combined unsaturations? So here in this case, the same rules what we applied to the straight chain compounds having combined unsaturations, the same rules we will be applying here also. So the first priority will be given to the most stable unsaturation, and the parent nature of parent chain will be the highest unsaturation. So the name of the compound parent chain will be decyne. Okay, the name of the compound parent chain will be decyne. So here the name of the compound will be like second carbon atom is having double bond and fifth carbon atom is having triple bond. So the name of the compound will be dec 2-ene 5-ine. Okay, so dec 2-ene 5-ine. This will be the name of the parent chain, because here the highest unsaturation will represent the nature of the parent chain. Okay, so this will be considered as the suffix. And the seventh carbon atom is having ethyl substitution. So the name of the compound will be 7-ethyl dec 2-ene 5-ine. This will be the name of the compound, 7-ethyl 2-ene 5-ine. So here this will get the first priority, and this will be representing the nature of the parent chain. So far we have seen the nomenclature of unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons if the unsaturation is present in the parent chain. What if unsaturation is present in the side chain? So how to name such kind of compounds? We will see. So the same compound I am taking, let us consider the unsaturation is present here. So we have already discussed that while naming the unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons, if the unsaturation is present in the side chain, we have to consider 2 points here. First thing, whether the unsaturation in the side chain is directly attached to the parent chain, or it is separated from the parent chain by one or more carbon atoms. So these 2 points we have to consider. So here, if we observe, this unsaturation is directly attached with the parent chain. The unsaturation of the side chain is directly attached with the parent chain. So in this case, in this kind of unsaturations, we will be naming the compounds by using the suffix -ene. So the side chain here is ethyl side chain. As the double bond or the unsaturation is directly attached to the parent chain, a suffix -ene is used. So ethylidene. So the name of the side chain or the branch will be ethylidene. And the name of the stride chain or the parent chain will be as usual. 10 carbon atoms it is having. So this prefix deck we will use, and all are having only single bonds. That means the parent chain is a saturated chain. So the suffix N will be used. So ethylidene decane. And the position here will be, we have to change the numbering, as we don't have any unsaturation in the parent chain. The substituted carbon atom should get the least possible number. So 4-ethylidene decane. The name of the compound will be 4-ethylidene decane. So in case of the unsaturation is attached directly to the parent chain, we will be adding the suffix idene to the side chain, name of the side chain. So the name of the compound will be 4-ethylidene decane. So like this we will be naming the compound. What if the unsaturation is separated with one or more carbon atoms? In this condition, what we will do? So the side chain, name of the side chain is ethene. So instead of writing ethene, we will be writing ethenyl. So a suffix I will be added to the side chain. A suffix I will be added to the side chain, ethenyl. And the position of the carbon atom that is directly attached to the parent chain has to be designated. So here the first carbon atom is directly attached to the parent chain. So ethenyl 1I. Like this we will be representing the side chain. Here ethenyl, that means the unsaturation is separated from the parent chain with one or more carbon atoms, and the first carbon atom is directly attached to the parent chain. See, no matter on which position this unsaturation is present, but always we have to designate the carbon atom that is attached directly to the parent chain as the first carbon atom, or we can say that the carbon atom that is attached directly to the parent chain should get the least possible number. We have to number in such a manner. So the name of this compound will be 4-ethenyl 1I decane. So like this we will be giving the name to the compounds in which the unsaturation is present in the side chain and the unsaturation present in the side chain separated from the parent chain by one or more number of carbon atoms. So what if triple bond is present? Then instead of writing 4-ethenyl, we will be writing 4-ethynol 1I decane. So like this we will be naming the compound. So now one more case we will consider. What if the unsaturation is present in both the parent chain and the side chain? What we have to do in such cases? As usual, so this will be, the numbering will change. We will start numbering from here, because the carbon atom that is having unsaturation should get the least possible number. So we will start numbering from here only. So fourth carbon atom is having unsaturation and seventh carbon atom is having so like this we are giving the naming. Okay, seventh carbon atom is having this ethylene substitution and third carbon atom is having the unsaturation here. We know very well these rules. So like this we will be naming the compound. The name of the parent chain will be decene and the side chain is ethene, but here the unsaturation is directly bound or directly attached to the parent chain, so we will be writing the name as ethylene. Okay, we will be writing the name as ethylene. So by combining these we will be getting the name of the compound as 7-ethylene dec 3E. The name of the compound will be 7-ethylene dec 3E. So like this we will be giving the name to the compound. So what if the unsaturation is separated like this? So in this case also, as we have done, as we have seen in previous cases, as usual the name of the parent chain will be dec 3E and the side chain, instead of writing ethene we will be writing ethenyl. So on the 7th position we have ethenyl substitution and the first carbon atom is bound directly to the parent chain. So 7-ethenyl 1-yle dec 3-ene. So this will be the name of the compound. Like this we will be naming the compound. So in case of multiple unsaturations, combined unsaturation, so parent compound is having double bond and the side chain is having triple bond, the same thing we will be doing. So the name of the parent chain will be dec 3-ene and the name of the side chain will be ethenyl. So here ethenyl 1-yle dec 3-ene. So 7-ethynyl 1-yle dec 3-ene. This will be the name of this compound. So like this we will be naming the unsaturated branched chain hydrocarbons. So here with this video we have completed the nomenclature of open chain ring systems. So here open chain compounds, open chain hydrocarbons. So in these open chain hydrocarbons we have seen the nomenclature of straight chain compounds and branched chain compounds. That means the straight chain saturated straight chain compounds and unsaturated straight chain compounds, saturated branched chain compounds, unsaturated branched chain compounds. So all these things we have discussed. In the next video we will be discussing about the nomenclature of closed ring forms, nomenclature of hydrocarbons which are in closed ring forms. Thank you.